In this fantasy fight, two heavyweight champions face off. Two boxers considered by many to be the greatest to ever do it. This is legend versus legend. This is Joe Louis versus Muhammad Ali. Enjoy, while only one can reign supreme.
I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talking about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe will tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, Clay, during one time during my career, I went on a Bum of the Month tour.
Bum of the month? I would have been a bum compared to you.
Well, you've been on the tour.
In this video, we will be leaving out the impact the boxer has made on the sport, and we will be breaking down the strengths and weaknesses of each fighter to build a realistic result in this prediction. Starting off with Joe Louis. Joe Louis was the heavyweight champion from 1937 to 1949, which is the longest single reign in boxing history. He had 27 title wins with 26 consecutive title defenses, which is also the most in boxing history. He had a 95.65% win-to-fight ratio with a 75.36% knockout-to-fight ratio. Joe Louis was a very well-rounded boxer that described words like patient, powerful, and precise. He was a hard-hitting, yet very technical boxer. Louis was effective with both hands, with his powerful standout left jab and right cross combo. Louis had a great ring IQ, often setting his opponents up to throw punches, and as their weight was shifted toward him, he would counter with perfectly timed jabs, uppercuts, and hooks, having a standout left hook. Louis would also counter off opponents' jabs effectively by catching opponents' punches, also often slipping or parrying them to create openings. He would stalk his opponents with small steps, always keeping himself balanced and in distance to hurt opponents, with his great hand speed, timing, and accuracy. Joe Louis was a great defensive fighter. He often displayed great use of holds and clinches, which neutralized his opponents, preventing them from throwing punches. Louis had a strong chin and was a strong finisher, often ending matches hurting his opponents with vicious measured combos to the head and body. For weaknesses, Louis struggled with mobile boxers and seemed to be open to the jab. Louis also didn't have the fastest feet, which can play a factor against Muhammad Ali. Joe Louis served in the Army in World War II from years 1942 to 1945. While stationed in Fort Riley, Kansas, Louis met and befriended a soldier also stationed there named Jackie Robinson. Robinson went on to be a legendary baseball player. Joe Louis was stationed at Camp Polk, Louisiana, who later changed their name to Fort Polk. There, he was part of an exhibition program alongside Army soldier and future boxing champion Sugar Ray Robinson. The two held boxing exhibitions to entertain the troops. Joe Louis's famous trainer, Jack Blackburn, was a professional boxer competing from 1900 to 1923, with a professional record of 117 wins, 24 losses, and 22 draws, and 5 no contests. Joe Louis was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990. His opponent across the ring, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was a 3-time heavyweight champion with 19 defenses through those 3 reigns. Ali had a 91.80% win-to-fight ratio with a 60.66% knockout-to-fight ratio. Muhammad Ali was a very athletic yet unorthodox outside fighter who had blinding speed combined with a high ring IQ. Ali had fast feet and a sharp jab, which he would use to dictate distance, often going in and out of range and scoring against his opponents with ease. Ali was hard to anticipate, with his fluid footwork often circling his opponents with angles. Ali kept a loose guard, with his hands low, mainly relying on reflexes, timing, and sharp head movement to anticipate opponents' incoming punches. Ali would step back or lean just out of range of his opponent's strikes, causing his opponents to miss and overextend. There, Ali would capitalize and counter. For weaknesses, Ali kept his hands low, which helped him see but limited his protection. This left Ali open while jabbing, which can play a factor, Joe Louis being a great counterpuncher. Ali also seemed to be open at times to the left hook, which was another strength of Joe Louis. Muhammad Ali hired Joe Louis as an advisor to help make sure Ali was preparing properly, even having starred on TV together. Muhammad Ali fought 59 pro fights before he was stopped for the first and only time in his pro career. This was a corner stoppage loss against Larry Holmes. Muhammad Ali was not only a boxer, but an actor, a singer, and famously a poet. For the result of this legendary fantasy fight between Joe Louis and Muhammad Ali, I believe Joe Louis is the better fighter on a conventional standpoint. However, I predict Ali wins the match. Each fighter seemed to be sharp at the other's weak area. However, Joe Louis seemed to struggle more than Ali in the areas that countered one another. I don't believe either fighter hurts one another. However, I predict Ali would outpoint Louis, and Louis would then have to rely on hurting or stopping Ali, which is a hard and unlikely task, predicting Ali ultimately overwhelms Joe Louis with his footwork, volume, and jab activity to win in a decision or a possible technical knockout. Of course, there is a possibility Louis wins landing combos countering off of Ali's jab. Louis also could have exposed Ali's openness to the left hook. However, I don't find it likely due to Ali's IQ, his defense, speed, and durability. Ultimately predicting Muhammad Ali wins. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and let us know who you would like to see in the next fantasy fight matchup.